So what is anxiety? It's this feeling of fear, essentially. I've seen it described by other people as a sort of addiction to fear, something that kind of we are attached to as a thought pattern and we can't get away from. Often it's about fearing uncertainty, which involves change and the future. And uncertainty is at the heart of a lot of anxiety and our relationship with uncertainty and what might happen in the future. We can't know what's going to happen in the future. And that's scary. And that's part of life and living is that not knowing how things are actually going to pan out. Anxiety is also feeling threatened by that idea of uncertainty, by kind of maybe an idea of judgment of what people are thinking about us. And it's not trusting that we are actually safe. It doesn't really matter what that person thinks or how this goes. If it goes badly, if I fail, I fail. If nobody ever looks at this video, okay, it's all right. I'm okay with it. Anxiety is feeling unsafe with those things and insecure. Like there is a huge judgment upon our very existence through failure, through disappointment, through kind of something not working out, whether that's a job, a new job, whether that's dating, a first date, whether that's marriage, whether that's buying a house, a car, whether it's just kind of, selecting something from the shops. I don't know. It can be all sorts of things to do with the future that we want 100% certainty about, maybe, but we can't get 100% certainty. So we just have to commit to making a decision. But sometimes that need to commit to making a decision is just too much. So we stay frozen and paralyzed and we procrastinate and we don't do anything. And then we end up with this horrible relationship with ourselves where maybe we hate ourselves a tiny bit. So here are your classic fear responses to kind of anxiety or related to anxiety. So you've got your fight, your instant counterattack or extreme defense when you feel threatened, when you feel somebody is kind of judging you negatively. You've got a flight, run away. Let's just put as much distance between ourselves and that kind of confronting thing as we can. We've got freeze, a sort of paralysis of just not doing anything, of maybe procrastinating. And related to that, possibly some people introduce this idea of fawn, which is instinctive people pleasing that you might see in a social anxiety sort of context of just agreeing with whatever anybody else is saying because it's the nice thing to do and it's what people want to hear. They don't want to hear anything else. So we just smile and nod and agree. But there's another approach. We can slow down and we can think and we consider and we can be a bit more present. We can be a bit more immediate. We can acknowledge that uncertainty is always going to exist. It's not nice, but it's always going to be there. Our control over that uncertainty will always be limited. So endless doom scrolling, not very healthy a lot of the time. Here's an idea of challenging your safety radar. This idea that maybe you could trust that you are safe in this situation. You are not about to be fired for making an innocent mistake, for not knowing everything there is to know. That person over there who's maybe just asked about something or your approach to something, they don't want your job and they don't have an agenda against you. Maybe they're just curious about how you did it. Maybe they want to help you. Maybe they're not out to get you. Maybe your partner who made a kind of slightly barbed remark about something doesn't actually hate you and it's not the end of your relationship. Maybe they just had a bad day. Now, these things, and a lot of these things are similar in that they are easily said than done. In the heat of a stressful moment, we are all going to react in that way that our brain has programmed us to react for survival, to protect ourselves and our best interests. And so it's going to be hard, but we can take this awareness of what these instinctive responses are, and we can try to challenge them in the first instance. We can be aware of them happening, and maybe the reasons that they're happening aren't as valid as maybe they once were, once upon a time. Anxiety exists for everybody, and we kind of need it sometimes. It won't ever disappear, and it might have been necessary if you had a tough childhood, like kind of an unsafe environment when you were growing up, if you were kind of bullied a little bit by a sibling, if things just didn't feel very stable for you. It's this inbuilt safety mechanism that needs to be managed and inspected and respected as well, because sometimes it is there for a reason. It can keep us safe. Maybe there's an instinct about someone that you do need to listen to because it doesn't feel safe. So it's all about learning to trust yourself and trust that instinct and accept anxiety when it exists, that it's okay. It's not a weakness, it's not a disorder. And there's no need to feel anxious about feeling anxious, which is another thing I can hear a lot, that people allow it to escalate. They kind of drive it. They kind of feel it coming and think, okay, I'm going to have a panic attack now. And kind of it's kind of perpetuated. Um, when that can be unnecessary, because sometimes we all feel anxiety and we all feel worry because life is tough and it comes with challenges. It can help to express and share the anxiety, even if it's uncomfortable, with whoever you are around, because the chances are, it's going to be shared. It's always going to be there. It can't be banished because death's going to come soon. And that's kind of anxious, right? That kind of, it promotes this anxiety, health anxiety I hear about a lot. Our loved ones, it's always going to be there. So how we relate to that, if we demonize it or if we don't, if we kind of inflate it, how you relate to it and control this kind of regular thought pattern of worry, 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 worry. Maybe that can be key. Maybe you could kind of shrink it. Maybe you can even laugh at it, this thing that, oh, I'm doing that thing again. Also, consider failing, because a lot of anxiety comes when we're thinking about something we might do that's scary, something that might push us out of a comfort zone, something which maybe exposes us to a new audience, to judgment. Um, Maybe we can accept the chance of failure and that's okay because we wouldn't have maybe an opportunity if we just didn't at least try. This idea of having to try something to kind of learn about yourself and just kind of accept that failing is maybe sometimes necessary and it's a good thing, and we learn through it. Through the big things in life, we learn through failure. Parenting, dating, a new job, a new hobby, you learn sort of on the job. You learn by doing these things. You accept the uncertainty and the need to kind of wing it a bit, to make things up as you go along. What is this nappy thing? You're probably going to fail all the time, and it's all right because everyone does, and you're going to learn. So maybe consider that failure isn't threatening. Maybe you are safe to fail, and that's all right. Maybe you can just laugh at yourself if you're not kind of doing it right, but you're just getting there the best way you know how. You can trust that you're doing the best you really can right in that moment, even if you fail. Related is avoidance. And avoidance is, again, your brain trying to keep you safe from potential failure, rationally or not. Because that way you can stay in the safe, comfortable, familiar zone that you know well and you can control. Not avoiding means confronting change, and change is scary and threatening because it contains uncertainty. But you can challenge and confront it by doing. It's not easy, but believing, and belief is always key, but believing you can actually control this thing, that you are able to do it, is really at the heart of everything. Just believing that you have the control rather than surrendering and saying, oh, no, it's not me. I can't do this. This is my brain. I'll never be able to do this. It involves challenge and difficulty and failure. But if you are open to confronting it, to challenging it, then that is a start.